What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Jump to Start Racing podcast. My name is Wellington. I'm here with two of my closest friends. No reaction, huh? I said my closest friends.
Oh, whoa.
It's because you speak the truth today.
Today.
Yes.
Ruben, say hello.
What's going on, guys?
Yhancy? Oh, man. Why am I laughing here? Because on YouTube, you would see Yhancy did an exaggerated point to the camera, mocking me. Little does he know, he's about to be. This is going to be like the Squid Games of podcasts. I'm going to eliminate him next. Not going to be my closest friend anymore. With that said, guys, follow us on at Jump to Start F1 on Twitter and Instagram. Also, we're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeart Radio, TuneIn, Stitcher. We're also on YouTube. How you guys doing today? At Jump to Start F1, Instagram and Twitter. Follow us for some good memes.
Yes.
Some good commentary during the races.
Yes.
And that's that. Ruben, how was your weekend, dude?
It was awesome. Busy weekend.
Awesome. Busy. Why?
Work, barbecue in the house. More barbecue yesterday. Oh, no, not actually barbecue, but a
We
friend.
got together.
Yeah,
Got together.
and a good friend posed, go to baby shower. I mean, birthday. Baby shower.
Damn.
All right.
Jesus.
Yeah,
He doesn't hear that.
How you doing?
No, I had a great weekend. I don't know. Obviously the cherry on top was getting together with you guys and Paul and his family, so it was cool.
Don't cry, Wolves.
My closest friends.
You're next.
Okay, guys. With that said, let's get started. Jump into the news. So it's official. F1 confirms the Qatar Grand Prix is on the calendar for 2021
Qatar.
Yes.
as part of a long-term deal.
10 years, yeah.
10-year deal. So what that means is it'll take the place of the to-be-announced, slot that was scheduled for November 19th through the 21st, which is after Brazil, before Saudi Arabia. There'll be a race this year, and then no race next year. And then from 2023 on, it'll have a 10-year contract.
Mm-hmm. At a track that's not even built yet.
At a track that, because of the FIFA World Cup next year, they just want to focus on that, and then they're going to go on to deliver that racing circuit venue. What do you guys think of this news? I'll call it this news, yes.
I'm glad they finally released it. We were waiting
Right,
for
long rumored.
I have no reaction. Just because we don't know what the track is going to look like. I mean, obviously this year, this was, it was penciled in because obviously COVID, there's some tracks, I think it was in the place of Australia, right?
Yes.
Australia, because of the COVID protocols, they couldn't hold the race there, so they penciled in Qatar. But I'm glad that they did get they got a 10-year deal out of it. Obviously, the races tend to be, for the most part, in the Middle East, tend to be pretty decent. Well, maybe Bahrain, Abu Dhabi, I think they're gonna change the track, so we'll see how that works out. It's gonna be night races, and I like night races, like visually, like watching them, they're cool. But we'll see what happens. I don't have high hopes for this one, obviously, but this year, because the track is very narrow in Losail. But we'll see. We'll see what the track looks like up in 2 years from now. So we don't know.
Anything, Ruben?
No, I agree with Yhancy. It's a narrow because it's normally used for MotoGP. And I think that's where MotoGP starts their season, in Qatar.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not a Steven MotoGP type
Gotcha, that's our friend Steven. Yeah.
Shout out, Steve.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's a different venue, and we always like to go to different venues, see how the cars run. The track is super smooth there because obviously it's made for MotoGP, so you get interesting races. They're probably going to use the softer compounds this year. The harder compounds, I think, maybe, because it's a smooth track.
Bring it on.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, there's nothing else to be said. I mean, you want to make political comments.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the one thing that's to be said. You saw Sebastian Vettel, who's consistently been, he had the LGBTQ designs, shirts, etc. at in Hungary. The environmental shirt in Russia. a big oil nation. Another oil nation added to the calendar with a lot of human rights issues. I mean, FIFA's already facing this blowback. So now it's 4 races in the Middle East. And I don't know what further to say here when we race as one, but we race as one as long as they're rich, I guess. Which
has always been the case anyways. I mean,
yeah, money talks, right?
money talks, man. That's just the way it goes. I just, you know, you get frustrated because people want to, you know, obviously want to be on the right side of history, which they should obviously, and be morally right. But as long as money's in the picture, can't really be morally right sometimes.
That's technically the right side of the history, right? The money side. Right?
I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could always change history with money.
Yeah.
Ka-ching.
Yeah. All right. Moving on from that depressing news. Well, not depressing, but
Oh, it's a new venue.
it's a new venue.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Maybe, as we've mentioned before, and I think we talked about it when Saudi Arabia came on the schedule, maybe it'll shine a brighter spotlight on these countries now that they're in the limelight, that they will improve their human rights issues and any other issue. Maybe I think the other issue would be the environment as well. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. All right. So moving on. It's now been rumored on Sky Sports. Here's the headline. Turkish GP. Mercedes considering Lewis Hamilton engine penalty at Istanbul as title battle hots up. Not even heats up. So we kind of talked about this. Yeah, we kind of talked about this last week where we've already seen Valtteri Bottas take 2 engine penalties. We've seen Sergio Perez take an engine penalty. We've seen Max Verstappen take an engine penalty. We've also seen Nicholas Latifi take an engine penalty, indicating that Mercedes engine and all things included within it are not as bulletproof as they previously have been.
Mm-hmm.
It's only a matter of time before Lewis has an issue that has to take an engine penalty or an issue during a race. So to get ahead of it, the rumor is that they'll be taking this engine penalty here in a fast track where you can overtake and where you could kind of control your destiny a little bit better rather than have something happen across the weekend to screw yourself up. What do you guys think here?
It would be smart. We have 7 races left. Obviously, these engines were technically supposed to last anywhere from 7 to 8 races, which obviously has not been the case. We have Bottas going already on he's on his fifth engine.
Yep.
So, and you documented all of the, all of the engine changes up and down the grid as far as the teams that use Mercedes engines. We already knew that Red Bull with the Honda engines had to change it. So they have fresh engines. And I think that you would rather take an engine penalty now, especially at a track that we know that Mercedes runs well here because obviously Lewis came in from, I don't know how far back
6.
he was. He came in from 6, but he was able to overtake and win the race last year, regardless of the conditions. Obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And he actually clinched the championship last year in Istanbul. His 7th world championship, tying Michael Schumacher. What the?
You messed me up you messed up trivia.
Get a new question, bro.
Go ahead.
But yeah, so.
Or should that be a point for you now, automatically?
No.
I didn't know. Ding, 1 point. Yes. Get a point.
Sorry,
It hasn't even started yet, baby. What's up?
Sorry, I messed with your flow. Go ahead.
Yeah, but yeah. So I mean, if there's gonna be most of the tracks, I think most of the tracks favor Red Bull. There's not really these tracks that, and we haven't seen them race at Saudi Arabia. That'll probably be the only one. But obviously, we know that a Mercedes engine is quick on the straights. But going through corners, we know it suits the Red Bull better. So there's not a lot of tracks that suit the Mercedes over the Red Bull, even though the cars are close. So I think it would be smart for them to take the engine penalty now if they have to. They have a fresh engine, along with, and they would be on par with Honda and Red Bull. And they can fight back in this race even if they start in the back of the grid. So, would be smart enough for them to do that.
I think that's the key here. Because
Yeah, I think this is the track to do it on.
think
be
about
able
it.
to
With the
be able to
next
come back.
couple of races, it's after Turkey, it's the U.S. Grand Prix in Austin, which Yeah, it is a power track, but there are so many technical areas that it's going to be tough to really come through the field.
On the back, yeah.
Mexico,
It's always
correct me if
favored
I'm
Red Bull.
wrong, but historically, Mercedes has not done great at Mexico, right?
Because of the altitude. The Mercedes engine, when it's higher temperatures, traditionally doesn't run well, or
Oh, thin air.
historically doesn't run well. And obviously, with the thin air, you have less air coming or less oxygen coming in through the engine. It tends to heat up the engine as well. So yeah, they've won there and they've done well, but when Red Bull's on, which obviously they have a way better car this year, it seems to suit them better.
So I don't think it's a concern about Red Bull. I think that now you have to start entering into the calculus. You know, I'm going to have to pass Daniel Ricciardo and Lando Norris. I'm going to have to pass Charles Leclerc and Fernando Alonso and Carlos Sainz. Now, all those other guys that are stepping up their game and all those manufacturers, it's like, okay, I'm going to be ceding a lot of points, where in Turkey, I'll be able to much more easily try to figure something out.
And the cars are closely matched.
Yes.
So it's not like, I mean, obviously, the Red Bull and the Mercedes are another level, but it's not. You don't see that minute and a half gap now in
Like
races,
before.
like you see before to the
Mercedes had
midfield.
before, yeah.
You're seeing like maybe 30 seconds or 20 seconds, which is still a lot closer than when it was before. So I mean, and again, these cars are competitive now. You have the Ferraris, you have the, you have obviously the McLarens who have already won races this year, and you have the other cars in the midfield that are. I mean, it's very close between them as far as timing wise per lap. So.
And it's also tougher to get around, even if you're in a faster car. Because now, if I'm not racing the guy in front of me or that closely, I could just let you through because you're probably faster than me, or maybe like in the next turn or whatever. But if I'm also close to the guy in front of me during the race, why would I let you pass? Like, I'm fighting this guy. I can't let you pass right now.
No, and then you have a lot of battles up and down the grid.
Of course,
because
that hasn't stopped.
You obviously have the Ferrari battling McLaren for third place. You have the
And then the other ones will pick up the scraps.
AlphaTauri, Alpine, and Aston Martin.
Aston Martin battling for fifth place.
Yeah.
So everybody's still battling for points, and they want every point that they can get. So they're not just gonna give it up.
So I'm sorry, go ahead.
But going back to the engine thing with Lewis, we haven't seen anything from McLaren regarding the engine, and they're using the same engine.
Well, we haven't seen anything yet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So maybe Mercedes should look into what the hell they're doing different over there.
Well, I think what's happening different, this is going to...
I mean, obviously, Red Bull has not let Mercedes tone the engine down.
So that's what I was going to say. That's the tinfoil hat.
Yeah.
They haven't been able to just turn it down.
No, that's true because obviously let's just look at the battle for third between Ferrari and McLaren. Obviously, it swings back and forth, but it hasn't been one of those things where they're just consistently every race battling each other. It's like one team has a decent weekend, the other one has a bad weekend. Then it swings around the next race, depending on the track. Every race, Red Bull and Mercedes are pushing each other.
Yeah.
And to be more specific, Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen are literally pushing each other every single race.
Or bumping into each other.
Yeah, so I mean, they've had to. They don't have that leeway of turning an engine down for a race. They're just pushing.
Do you think the engine modes have something to do with that too? Since they took the engine modes away, they're not able to, because they've been...
Yeah, because now they want to run it at a higher whatever
qualified.
capacity.
You have to run high and try to qualify as best you can. But now you cannot let go of the engine mode. That has to be used during the race as well.
It has to be used throughout qualifying and the same engine mode.
So
in
that
the race
could
as
have
well.
an implication to us.
It's kind of crazy. They introduced that engine mode limitation. Then they also said, there's also a cost cap. And now they're also racing. So it's like, wait a second. All these things kind of coming together.
No more engines. No more than 3 engines.
Yeah, I mean, these are, as like you said, these are things that have been introduced over time, but now it's coming to an apex, basically.
Because the teams are more competitive.
Exactly.
Yes.
Which is, at the end of the day, that's what you want, right? As fans, that's what we want.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So after Mexico, so it's Turkey, United States, Mexico, Grand Prix. I'm sorry. Mexican Grand Prix.
Where's
then
Grand Prix
there's
located?
I got the half of that.
Yeah. Then there's Brazil, which
Interlagos.
I don't know who I would give the advantage to there.
It's hit or miss there.
It's very, very hittable.
Yeah, and it's a track you can
Red Bull has
overtake.
done well there too.
And there's a sprint race there.
Yes.
And oh my god.
The sprint race is going to be very interesting there.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing that there's a motorsport article that came out. It says that the balance of the headline is the balance of power is unclear over remaining F1 races. Says Red Bull, meaning Christian Horner, Helmut Marko, etc. Why is that? We've never raced in Saudi Arabia.
Mm-hmm.
We've never raced in Qatar. We really don't know who has the power or like the advantage
The edge.
in like Abu Dhabi, for example, because we haven't really seen competitors. Because everybody at that time, the last
They know what's going on.
decade, it's like, all right, who gives a crap? Let's just get home safe. Let's get at it.
Participate, let's get out of
Right. Except for obviously 2016, but it was the same team battling itself. So like whatever. But if you think about it, there's 7 races. 2 are new.
Mm-hmm.
There's a third, Turkey. Like you don't be based on what happened last year. You don't know what's going to happen this year
Yeah.
because they had so many issues with the grip and
Yesterday's results or not today's results. You know the price? Yesterday's price, not today's price.
It's very unpredictable.
Yep.
Which is what we wanted. And this was supposed to be a throwaway year, man. This was supposed to be a year that nobody can really challenge. Mercedes was gonna run away with it, and then we were supposed to go to, 2020, 2022 with the new rules, and that's when things could get competitive. This was supposed to be a throwaway year, and this has probably been the best year of the hybrid era so far. So, who do you think comes out on top? You know what? Not even let's not go with the predictions. Who do you think that the remaining calendar suits better, Red Bull or Mercedes?
It's a toss up.
the way I'll say it is this: whoever has the better car.
So that's a non-answer. Go ahead.
It's a toss up.
Another but damn, you guys are
So you say yes.
horrible.
Yeah.
Man.
Who do you think it suits?
Red Bull.
Why do you say that? I think Red Bull has the advantage in Coda and in Mexico for sure.
There you go. They're definitely going to be
Brazil.
competitive in Turkey. In Brazil, they're better. I think they're better suited for Brazil as well with the fast sweeping turns, and then they can trim down that car, because they don't need a crazy downforce in Brazil.
Right. So I would say in Brazil. Well,
Abu Dhabi definitely suits Red Bull better.
why is that?
And because it's
The turns.
Oh, well, I mean, they're gonna reprofile the turns, but it's still a lot of turns, still a very technical track. And Saudi Arabia looks like it'll suit probably the Mercedes.
I think the Mercedes suits Brazil more because essentially you have 2 really long straights. There's like the start-finish straight is like preceded by a big sweeping turn. I would call that almost more of a straight than a couple of a turn complex.
Well, they're straight off. They're straight. They're flat there. So
Yeah, so something like that I think benefits me. Whatever. I feel like we're arguing things that or we're debating things that are really hard to
you're
gauge with
saying-
these cars.
So you're saying Red Bull suits the rest of the calendar suits Red Bull better?
I'm saying that it's a toss-up, which is exactly what Red Bull themselves are saying.
You gotta commit to something,
I'm
man.
committing to the fact that it is a toss-up.
Jesus, man, que muela.
Speaking of making an announcement, not really committing, just kind of throwing something out there. Stefano Domenicali, our boy, my boy,
Yep.
we go way back. The F1 boss, he's already put it out
Didn't you
there.
have dinner with him the other day?
Absolutely. When he and Hamilton came to the Met Gala, we kind of connected a little bit. I took him to Top Golf. Stefano Domenicali has already commented on he wants to have 1/3 of the race calendar feature sprint qualifying races, which is a beautiful thing. Number one, because we saw in Monza how that changed the whole race. Obviously, they have not announced where they would want to do it. We've already done 2 sprint qualifying sessions, with 1 more left, presumably in Brazil. What would you guys feel about that? Personally, I thought that the Monza sprint qualifying was much better than the Silverstone sprint qualifying.
Yeah, you're right. They got better. I got better because obviously the teams were more familiar
Mm-hmm.
with how to approach the weekend. I think it's welcome just because of one thing, and we don't know if this is gonna hold true or not. But it's the rule changes, and the rule change the main rule changing meaning that the cars can actually follow and overtake each other easier than they do now. I think that's what they're looking at, and that's the only way a sprint race would be more interesting. And obviously, I think they have to make some more tweaks to it, maybe make it shorter. But
Shorter?
the sprint race, yeah. I mean,
I
think it's too long. Maybe make it shorter so the drivers can take more.
Or make it a
more
hair
points.
longer so you could actually pit stop and make it an advantage.
Yeah,
It's like in this weird middle zone.
Yeah, but also I don't think you want to make it a strategic battle. I don't think that maybe the race will be probably more a strategic battle. I think you just want flat out racing and overtaking. That's the goal, I think. And we've seen rule changes like that in other sports, more notably in the NBA with the defensive changes, in the NFL also, that you can't, hit certain offensive players. And you have seen over the years that the offense has ramped up. I think they have to look that route in F1, make it, we want to see more overtaking. We want to see cars follow better. And we want to see, unpredictable results. So if they make it a little bit shorter, I think that'll work. And obviously, if the rule changes work as far as if they can follow and overtake easier, that'll play into an advantage. If they can do that, then I wouldn't mind being a third of the calendar with the sprint race qualifying.
No, I actually like the decision. The
rumor. It's not even in the
it's coming. They're saying it. The Monicale is saying it's coming. So it's also, I think, it boils down also. It's going to trickle down to ticket sales too. Friday has a purpose now to really show up because the qualifying to the sprint qualifying is going to happen on Friday, so it has a meaning to actually see Sunday. Saturday, same thing. Saturday, the highlight was just qualifying before. But now there's a small race happening. So, we've seen it when we go to races, how the difference in the crowds between Friday, Saturday, and actually Sunday. So I think it's going to trickle down to that. People are going to show up. People are going to spend more money. And that's it. That's what we need.
And also TV audience, which commercial rights
of
deal are big. It's a big money maker for F1. So you'll get higher ratings. You'll get more views on everything across the board, social media, on the F1 TV platform. Hopefully they make it better. Even though it's been good for me this year, for me personally. Wellington would differ of opinion. But yeah, I mean, it just makes it more interesting. Yes. But they have to deliver on the fact that the cars can follow better and that we're going to see more wheel-to-wheel racing. If you don't have that, then there is no point in doing it.
I'm excited. I'm hopeful first, and then I'm excited. I'm also hopeful and excited for what's hopefully to come for the next engine change. Reportedly, they'll be dropping the F1 consortium will be dropping the requirement for the MGU-H, and that would facilitate manufacturers such as Porsche and who's the other one?
Porsche, the VW, Porsche and Audi.
The VW group for potentially joining in as engine suppliers, not even constructors, but like what would happen is a partnership, right?
Yes.
Where it would be, we'll supply the engine, we'll become a quasi constructor team, leading into potentially, more just variability in terms of the engines and the team. So what do you guys think as far as, in order to accomplish that, the MGU-K is going to get a boost in power. The MGU-H will drop off the face of the earth.
For a minute there, I thought you said the Formula One management was going to drop a new album.
The hottest mixtape of all time.
Yeah, I mean, the reason why, it feels like the VW group, and more specifically Audi and Porsche,
who already have a history in racing, huge racing.
Well,
and Formula One.
They're world champions in the WEC, not the WCC or WCDC, in the WEC World Endurance Championship. So, and they have the racing pedigree. I think Porsche and Audi, anywhere they enter, tend to win championships.
to do well.
Yeah, well, they do well and they win championships. I mean, look at the last time Porsche and Audi were involved in the WEC; they won the championships. And the only reason I think Toyota's been able to has been able to capitalize it is because they haven't been there. Toyota, I mean, it's obviously the power right now in WEC, but that's because Porsche and Audi aren't there. But going back to Formula One, there's been rumors for years now that the VW group have been in meetings about curating the new engine rules, and the main thing has always been to drop the MGUH because it is the most expensive component and probably the most difficult component of the current F1 engines, the hybrid engines. So if everybody's willing to drop it, I think, and obviously the move as far as manufacturers are concerned all over the world is electrification. If they can develop that the electric part of the engine to be better, obviously that carries on to electric cars because obviously we've seen that move all over the world, that car manufacturers are going to be producing more electric cars, more and more electric cars,
EVs.
As the years go on. That gives, obviously, we want more engine manufacturers in F1, and it not only does it bring more a chance for more manufacturers to come into the series, but top, high pedigree, top quality manufacturers like Porsche and Audi, and to come into the sport and give a competition to a Mercedes, a Ferrari, or even Alpine Renault. So it's very welcome, and obviously you're going to get more reliability, and it's going to be more viable, and it's going to be, I think the technology will transition towards road cars, which is exactly what you want, because obviously racing is a test bed. I've always said this. Racing is a test bed for the technology that eventually makes it into our road cars.
It's always been the talks of, like, the part I never could get the name right. Whatever, MGU, whatever. So MGU,
MGU.
Yeah. So it is the most expensive part. Even the teams that on Formula One right now have always complained about that part being so much, costing so much, and they always talk about problems all the time with that part. So
it was why Honda struggled so much.
Exactly
because of that.
So that this is going to open up the opportunity for more people to come into Formula One. The more the better. It's going to grow the sport, bring a following of just those brands also as well. There's followers, just strictly followers of brands. They're going to come in too. Because even I read the article, and it even says that they might even do, if they come with Red Bull, they might do AlphaTauri, Audi, and Red Bull, Porsche. It's the same brand. So it's,
and eventually it might open up the door.
Because like Yhancy was saying, they were just going to supply the engine, so they could, just put a name tag on the plan, slap it. It's going to be, powered by Audi, powered by Porsche.
Yeah, and the rumor is that they would eventually take over the technology, or
the Honda thing?
The
IP?
Red Bull
motor
applied. It was a Red Bull, I don't know, but the Red Bull technology, Red Bull powertrains, that's what it's called. Yeah. So I mean, eventually I think that's gonna be the way they're gonna come in. They can eventually make it a works team if they want to, which will be even better for all of us as far as fans are concerned. Yeah, it's exciting, and just one thing, just like obviously you have the MGUK, which takes the energy coming off of the brakes and putting it back into a battery. The MGUH takes the energy coming off the turbocharger into a battery, but that seems to be more complex than the electrification issue of it. So
I'm with it.
The recycle part.
Yeah.
All right. With that said, it is time to jump into our race weekend preview. Before we talk about the trivia, though, there's a piece of news that came out that actually matters towards this preview, and that is what we touched on it earlier. Istanbul surface being water blasted to prevent the 2020 drama from being repeated. What that means is this. Before they even had the 2020 race, they didn't even know they were going to have it. They resurfaced the track, and that caused a lot.
Weeks before the race happened.
Yeah, that caused a lot of issues as far as basically just the traction. No amount of downforce would help with
And then the rain.
The rain, like it was just a disaster. So they're going to go through some measures, or they've already gone through measures to roughen up the track or to get it to a more drivable for F1 standards.
Where they're not ice skating on the track, basically.
Anything to add to that? Not really, right? It's just that's
No,
just
I
the
mean,
news.
I've never heard of this method of actually doing it. So obviously, when you pave the new road, there's a lot of oil and residue that stays on the track. They do this on all our public roads as well, depending on what municipality you're at. But they basically blast, strong jets of water into the pavement to clear up.
With a super soaker.
Yeah, to clear up that oil and residue,
Right,
and it opens up tiny cracks where the tires can creep in and grip up. So
Otherwise, when it rains, you'll be
In the article, it said that they do it in Singapore a lot.
Singapore. Yep.
I think that happened to us when we went to Vegas. It never rains in Vegas.
Listen, you can't talk about. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, it never
Stays there,
rains in Vegas. So when it started
What happens
raining,
in Vegas stays in Vegas.
yeah, no, it never rains in Vegas. So when it started raining, we went like the weekend where it rains 2 times out of the year. We rented a Corvette and a Mustang, and then the rain started falling. All that oil and residue came up, and we just couldn't get any grip flying on the highway. It was fun. I felt like Lewis Hamilton.
Must be fun.
Yeah.
Speaking of fun, trivia.
Do we have trivia? Yes, we do.
Well, minus one question.
I already got a point.
Nope.
Yeah. No, I'm
I'm bragging
the
about
question.
that one.
So that question that Yhancy gave out earlier was, my question would have been, name the record that was tied by Lewis Hamilton last year by winning the Turkey Grand Prix.
The Michael Schumacher.
He win the 7-1. That was one question out of the way, and I happen to only have 3. Okay, so I only have 2 more.
Okay.
So, but this one is kind of like within last year's as well. Things happen in the track. Can you tell me how many times Bottas spun during the wet 2020 Grand Prix?
During the Grand Prix itself?
Yes.
Twice.
Yo, he spun twice in the first lap. Man.
Yeah, I'll say 4 times total.
No. 6.
Damn, for real?
He,
Add us 2 together.
It happened 6 times. It happened after he made contact with Ocon in lap 1. That's where he spun twice. He spun again in lap 15, lap
He's
16,
breaking it down. This is
lap
crazy.
21, and lap 40.
That is a very good trivia question.
I'm getting better.
That is a very good trivia. Who
getting
the
better.
hell would know that?
But it was
Not I.
like little tricky things like that. I'm getting better. I'm looking into that now.
Okay.
That is
Hopefully
a good
that's
one.
actually right, because with Ruben's track record, I don't know.
Wait, why I gotta, like, I made an improvement.
Listen,
just
bro.
when I thought I was out.
Listen,
they
I'm not
pushed me
joining.
back.
I'm not joining that bandwagon, but he does have a point.
Just when I thought I was getting better, you guys shot me right back down.
Yeah. Let's see if you could improve here. Let's get it.
Yo, that was in The Sopranos in the first episode.
my
Yeah?
God.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
Classic line.
Yep.
Name the only active driver to have multiple pole positions on this track.
No, that's me.
Oh.
That has to be Lewis Hamilton.
Sebastian Vettel.
You got it.
Yeah. It was one of
It was
those.
one of those two.
The only other driver to have multiple poles on this track is Felipe Massa.
Yeah.
That's it. You guys blew one question.
So, no, trivia as far as Turkey goes, this is where, it was Hungary that Felipe Massa had his accident,
Yes.
right, with the spring. But Felipe Massa is the winningest driver here, if I recall
Yes,
correctly.
That was sort of my highlights. Go ahead.
He okay, I'm sorry.
In the history.
History, go ahead.
I like the way you took that back, bro.
Bam, man.
Yo, don't let him step on your game, bro.
History, go ahead. Let me set that thing down.
All right, so it was So we go now to Turkey GP history. So it was originally on the calendar from 2005 to 2011. He made a surprise entry last year, obviously due to COVID. He replaced actually. It was made a surprise back. It was supposed to come back this year originally to replace the Canadian Grand Prix in June, but because of the travel restrictions, it had to be replaced now to. It came in to replace the Singapore Grand Prix. This
Wasn't it
time
the
will be.
Australian Grand Prix?
So what?
Was it the Singapore or Australian Grand Prix?
Singapore.
Okay.
Australian
will
is
be Qatar.
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 Oh, okay, you're right. Okay.
Qatar. I don't know if it's about
Tomato,
Qatar.
potato, potato.
Exactly.
Not
This time will be with fans, though. So
I said that earlier.
we don't know the future of this Grand Prix as being like as an active, but they do. The owners do want a long-term deal with Formula One to keep the track. The track was originally built by Herman Tickle. I hope I said his name right.
Toka.
Okay, at a cost of $200 million. By the way.
Urban Tickle.
His evil brother. He designs the good tracks, and Tilke does the Sochis of the world.
Yeah, can we go back to history?
Got him. It's good to be on this side.
Yeah. So the track always struggled with
Tell us more about Mr. Tickle.
Tickle. So the track always struggled with fans due to high prices.
Mm-hmm.
Bernie Eccleston once owned this track. He bought it back in 2007, but that didn't work on whatever strategy he put out to play. In 2012, the track was purchased by Intercity. That's a Turkish car rental company. And they used the track for a freaking car dealership prior to 2012.
God,
That sounds
for
awesome.
real?
That sounds like our dear friend Anthony.
So
Yeah.
until last
let's
year,
take it
when,
out for a test trip.
before last year, it was used in 14 and 15 for the World Rally Cross Championship, and that was like pretty much in 14 and 15 was the last time a major event was held here.
Aside from last year, right?
Yeah, except for last year, of course. Some of the highlights on this track. This is a track where Stroll got his first pole. Another driver that got his first pole on this track was also Felipe Massa, and him and Beto are the multiple, like I said earlier, multiple pole sitters here, multiple times. Out of the 9 times, I think I have the name right. Let me see. It was 05 to 07. That's 6. I mean, 05 to 11. That's what 6 or 7, whatever. It's like about 8 or 9 times that we had a race here. Only one driver has gone to win from pole, and that was Beto in 2011. So we might
That's
see,
interesting.
yeah. So that, but it's always been won by a front row driver, though.
Okay.
Oh,
Except last year, where Hamilton won from 6th place.
Ooh.
hello.
Apúntame.
It was also
Bórrame.
it was Sebastian Vettel made his first F1 weekend debut here in 2006 for BMW Sauber, where he went into he did like a free practice, and also picked up a $1,000 penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Not bad for like a welcoming party to F1,
Yeah.
right?
There you go.
In 2006, Felipe Massa's first win actually came in here. Like I said earlier, Bottas spun a total 6 times last year, and it was 2020 Hamilton's 7th title. So that's all they got. What else we got?
Yeah,
That
so one thing I
record
got.
Well,
Is
that
that-
record is 124, held by Juan Pablo Montoya as a 24/7.
One thing that I got is Felipe Massa is the most winningest driver here.
That's also true, yeah?
Ferrari's the winningest constructor.
Yes, I didn't write that, but I read that as well. Go ahead.
Mercedes the winningest. No,
Mercedes is the...
winningest engine supplier.
Yes.
Boom, on it, guys.
If I
I'm
call
gonna
in
pat
sick,
myself.
now you know why. Wellington's going to take my job. So I'm going to start using my sick days.
I think
Union, non-union.
I think what he was trying to do is prepare for trivia, and you didn't give him the questions.
There were so many. So he's like, yo,
so
I can't figure out these questions. And look at how many like nice little tidbits there were that he just went through all that stuff.
You said earlier it was ancient history because we went back to 05. That's ancient history to me, my bro. Okay, my bad.
Yo, just say challenge accepted, bro.
Thank you.
That's it.
Predictions.
You're right there, Will.
Nancy, what's the comment you said? If you come for the king, you best
Ah, if you come for the king, you best not miss.
I don't miss dog.
Just when I think I'm out,
they pull me
they
back.
pull me back in.
So predictions. So I got some news for you guys. Looks like it's gonna rain next weekend in Turkey.
Ooh, is it gonna be spot rain or is it going to be?
It's too early to tell.
Or is it gonna?
We
be,
still have 6 days until the race, but looks like rain predicted right now.
or Sochi rain. Rain made Sochi interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And but last year, this track as well.
yes. Pretend no rain because hard to really predict otherwise. Dry conditions. Who do we have as qualifying? What do we think of top 5? And assume Hamilton takes a grid penalty. So his qualifying position or his race position will be affected.
Oh,
Mm.
but all right. So are we predicting qualifications regardless of?
Regardless.
Okay. Go ahead.
Explain that. No, explain that again.
Meaning whoever qualifies, it doesn't matter the grid penalty. If they take the grid penalty, whatever.
So
who's
if
gonna
Hamilton
qualify?
qualifies first,
Mhm.
he'll still start 20th.
Yeah. They're not going to push.
But will he qualify first?
But he right,
won't. They're not going to push.
Right.
So Max Verstappen will take pole. That's number 1. Number 2, Lando Norris. 3, Bottas. 4th, Leclerc. 5th, Ricardo.
Interesting.
Wow.
I just threw it there like names of guys that are going to just come up.
I'm going to go also with Verstappen because last year he qualified second on the front row. I'm going to go with Max. I'm going to go
In West, he qualified second. As well. Like, nobody got a lap.
I'm going to call Valtteri Bottas second, a very, very close second. And then I'm going to go Lando Norris, Charles Leclerc, Daniel Ricciardo.
Yeah, it's just too
No
buffering.
love for Perez. Huh?
That's what I was waiting for you to say the names. I'm like, yo,
Every week,
Perez,
Yhancy sits here and is like, oh, he's not a great qualifier. Every single
he's
week.
not a great qualifier, by the way.
Damn,
And then I have to show love to him.
no love
He still
for
has to
Perez.
out-qualify Pierre Gasly.
Max.
He
Which is like- which is like
he
a six.
probably won't even do that.
And Gasly's like the king of 6.
How bad is that?
Max P1. Bottas P2.
I like your style.
Hamilton P3, even though he's gonna have a grid penalty.
You think
Oh no, but he's not.
They're not
If-
going to
they're not gonna run him, dude?
Yeah, they're not. Gonna.
If they're having
They'll do
reliability
what they
issues,
do with Max.
they'll do
They'll
one
go
lap
One lap.
And that's it.
to say he was there.
Why suffer? Why put was the problem you're having is the engines. Why?
P3. Charlie. And then we have Norris.
So a second
fourth.
voice I had, right? You had that, right?
Yeah. I like the echo. Yo, we're like a barbershop quartet.
Wow.
All right. P4 Norris, P5 Ricardo.
Our same top 5, we just flipped Norris and
And
Leclerc.
Leclerc.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be
And the race?
a great race for McLaren. Another good one, I
Yeah.
think. Here's why. Because you see Austria, the way it is, how flowy, how twisty, etc. You see Lando Norris constantly kill that track, right? Every year he's been in. He's been good at that track. I anticipate him being really good here, especially coming off of the heels of that disappointment last year or last week-ish. I predict Lando Norris on podium. He'll finish third behind Max Verstappen winning it. And Valtteri Bottas second.
Whoa.
Hamilton fourth.
Mm.
Go ahead.
I have Max winning it. I have Lewis second. Norris third. Bottas fourth. I'll say Ricardo fifth. It's a toss-up between Ricardo and Leclerc on that little area there.
Wow.
Max is gonna qualify up front, stay up front.
He's going to break that curse. Win for pole.
Bottas second. Charlie will stay third.
Podium.
Podium. Remember, he took on a new engine with the new hybrid unit that we couldn't really see
The potential.
the potential. And I think this track suits the Ferraris better. I'm not gonna go as far as saying that the Ferraris are definitely gonna be faster than the McLarens, but it'll be closer. And I have faith in Leclerc to hold that third position. We'll do I think Norris will stay fourth, and then we have a fifth. Lewis Hamilton fifth.
You said, didn't you say? Oh no, you said Hamilton second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Lewis Hamilton.
here is my question, right? Assume he takes this grid penalty. Who does he pass easily? The Haas's.
Williams.
He'll pass Williams easily because George Russell will move out of the way.
Alpha.
He's not dumb. Alpha. I don't know if the Alphas look better.
Mm-hmm.
It won't be much competition though. Aston Martins.
I got a real simple question for you. He's gonna pass everybody,
Yep.
and the only reason he gets up to fifth is because the front runners will be so far ahead that he won't be able to catch up as the race goes.
You think that with Mercedes engines that he's going to easily pass the Aston Martins?
Yes, because he's done it before.
Yep.
Okay.
It's Lewis Hamilton.
The Alpines.
Well,
Esteban Ocon?
the only one that'll
Yeah,
probably
he'll
give him
pass.
trouble will probably be Alonso.
You don't think Esteban
But
Ocon
he'll
will give
get
him an
past
issue?
Alonso.
He'll get past Alonso, but you don't think he's going to slow him down?
Of course.
Yeah, that's
You
what
don't think he's going to eat up tires?
That's what he'll get to fifth.
But that's probably the only guy that will give him a little fight.
You think so?
Him
The
and
only
Ricardo.
guy?
Yeah, him and Ricardo. Because Beto can do it, but Beto will be thinking, I still got a race to go here. He's going to get past me regardless. I still got a whole race to go. If I keep fighting with Hamilton, I'm going to kill my tires and my strategy's out the door.
That's what everybody's thinking.
Yeah,
But
but
guess what? Everybody wants to maximize. You see, we just talked about how everybody's locked in these battles. They're not going to want to give up points just to, whatever.
But I feel like Aston Martin has been in this roller coaster that if they get into battles like that, they lose the opportunity of scoring points.
Okay, that's Aston Martin. Alpine, you think the same thing?
Alonso, regardless,
No,
fighting with Hamilton, he'll be top 10.
Yeah, I mean,
Regardless, fighting Hamilton, he'll be top 10.
He'll give him a good fight, but that's the reason. I mean, that's why I think he's only going to get up to fifth. He'll give him a good fight, but he's going to get past.
We saw it
easily
in
once he gets in.
was it Hungary? When he was,
It'll take him 3 or 4 laps, but he'll get past him.
we saw it in Hungary.
Car's too fast.
It looked like they didn't face him to, block Hamilton for a little bit, and my tires were still good.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. The only guys that are probably up to the level are Alonso and Ricardo.
So he's just going to blow past Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc. He's just going to blow past them.
Yeah.
I don't think he can.
He's not gonna just-
I don't think he'll have a chance to get up to Lando and Leclerc.
No, he's a Leclerc and
Yeah, but
Leclerc and
I'm thinking
Sainz.
Leclerc is going to be in third. I think he'll get past Sainz easily.
of course.
Sainz, I don't think is a
Great defender.
defensive driver.
Okay.
He's a solid racer, but he's not a good defensive driver.
So based on what you're saying, he's going to be passing Bottas. Who opened the door?
Put him second place, bro.
Who opened the
Who put him in
door?
second place?
You.
You did.
Who
No, I said
opened
Lando
the-
Norris, dude.
No. You said,
You said
Hamilton, second.
third. Right?
Yes, Hamilton second, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Either
what-
way, he's
Oh, my
passing-
bad. I thought you were mentioning I put Bottas second.
Either
Like,
way, either way.
No, I said Hamilton.
Yeah, no,
Well,
I
you
know.
said Hamilton.
You said Hamilton second.
No. Yeah.
So either way, he's passing Bottas, is what you're saying.
That's not even a discussion.
So me, who's Bottas, and I left the team, I'm just gonna be like, oh yeah, okay, Valtteri, it's James.
That's the reason why in both of my top 5, I did not include Bottas
There's
that
only-
well.
I'll
Because
tell you
Bottas
what,
doesn't care anymore.
He would pass Bottas anyways,
Yeah.
but we got team orders.
Yeah.
And Hamilton's leading the championship. And if he can finish ahead of Bottas, he's definitely going to do it because that's more points.
So here's my last two. Ricardo and Norris. He's gonna get past him. Nice and easy.
No, it won't be easy. No, they're
He
not
already
gonna
had trouble with Ricardo. Already had
But
a
that's
lot
what I
of
said.
trouble with Lando.
I didn't include Norris because Norris was, was going to be in the front. That's like going to be like towards the end of the actual race.
Hold on. But you just said.
Yeah,
He
he's-
said Max, Ham, and
Norris.
Norris.
Yeah.
Both
So,
No, Norris
So
can't
he-
keep up with the pressure that Hamilton's going to bring. By the way,
jeez. It's a long way up.
he's coming. Why I gotta lose faith? Why is he gonna?
So I mean, we said it last week. Like he could take the penalty, and he's the one driver that we are confident. Above all, he's
come
gonna
back.
cut through the field.
Yep. Well, he did it last year. He's done it multiple
Bro.
times.
Right now, there's no team with more luck than Red Bull.
Bad luck.
I said good luck because look what happened in the last race.
Are you kidding me?
No, he went from 20th to second.
Red
So
Bull-
it's clear we're not
come-
watching the same season.
Do you honestly think that if everything broke Red Bull's way, they wouldn't be leading the champ by a lot?
Okay, that's got different. Okay, so maybe I did not. Last in Russia, can a team have a better race than Red Bull did?
Yeah.
They were in 20th and freaking got second place. They were the luckiest team out of all of them.
Yeah, but that's one out of how many
No,
races?
but that's what I said. Maybe the
Oh,
way
you
the way
see
I
the
threw
tide
it.
has turned?
Yeah. Maybe the way I threw it was
No.
weird.
What about Mercedes, who got a first and a fifth, versus Red Bull, who did not get a first and a fifth?
But
And that was a strict result of the rain.
yeah,
That's who's luckier than Red Bull right now.
but are we expecting Mercedes to lose? No. They're coming from the king and they've been missing.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
That's the evidence this man presents.
Hey, listen. Sometimes he's right.
Wow.
Thank you, yes, thank you.
Listen, I don't, you know. I mean, but yeah, it's not solid evidence. But you know that gut feeling.
That gut feeling, that bubbling in your guts, man. You
bubbling
got to
in
take a
your-
Pepto.
Wow.
The bubbling in your
Wow.
guts.
Yeah, but come on. Do you honestly think that Red Bull has been luckier than Mercedes this year? I think the
Last
only
race they
reason Mercedes, you could say Mercedes has been lucky, and they're still in the championship, considering all of the things. Like, come on, bro.
Like a Lewis Hamilton.
That's not luck.
I mean, it's not luck, but I mean, it's pretty amazing if you look at what has transpired throughout the season, that the championship is this close.
Yes.
Because I mean, you know, Max started in Baku with the tires blowing out. He got into an accident that was caused by Lewis Hamilton in Silverstone. I mean, any opportunity that Max has had to extend his
Crush.
lead, it just doesn't work out for him. And that also doesn't help that Perez is not behind them fighting also. So I think that, yeah.
I don't know. I think it's going to be tough because Lewis is not the type you saw the Leclerc first lap, you see the Alonso first laps. They don't care. They're just throwing the car in there.
Mm-hmm.
When you're in the championship battle, you cannot do that.
Yeah, you can't have a DNF. I think that's also the reason why Total Wolf came out, and when we were talking about the to tie it back to the taking the penalty, what you can't do is, I mean, you can he said this, and I'm paraphrasing, you can take the swings in the lead in the championship race, meaning that one race Max could finish ahead of Lewis Hamilton, and Lewis Hamilton could finish ahead of Max the next race. But a DNF would be devastating, because when you're going up to the, when you're getting up to the end of the season where there's less points available, if you at any point get down more than a race or two worth of points, meaning the gap, 7 or 8 points.
Even a race.
Or even when you get down to like 16 or to that 20 range, if you're down,
you're done.
very hard for you to get back.
You got to start
Very
holding
hard.
back the field like Hamilton was doing.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, but I mean, you still got to finish.
All right, well, we'll see how right Ruben could be.
And honestly, I mean, we talk about luck, but at the end of the day, situations can break your way, but you have to be there to take advantage of the situations. And that's what Mercedes and Lewis Hamilton have done throughout this season. When the opportunity presents themselves, they're in the position to
Just
take it.
slide right into it.
Yep.
I don't know, dude.
Much like what Red Bull did last race.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I don't know. I just see McLaren has improved so much the last couple of weeks that it's like, all right. So, anything else, boys?
I just want to see cars going around the track now.
Yeah. So, guys, to wrap this up, I want to make sure to say, if you follow us on YouTube or if you're watching us on YouTube, please drop a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe if you're watching. If it's more than one episode that you're watching or more than one video clip, hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell so you could actually know when our videos are coming up. At Jump to Start F1 on Instagram and Twitter. Drop by and say hello. Give us a follow. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeart Radio, TuneIn, and Stitcher are
even the best trip up.
Yeah, like Lewis Hamilton will.
Wow.
That's where you could find us on podcast. Please leave us a review. Tell us what you think. It'll only help us improve. If you want to drop us a 5 stars, that would be greatly appreciated. Again, I'll repeat those: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeart Radio, TuneIn, and Stitcher. I keep doing the Google Podcast. Podcast. You guys know what I mean. We're also on YouTube at Jump to Start Racing Podcast.
Podcast.
And on that note, we'll see you guys later. Enjoy the race.
Peace.
Peace.